The real estate market has been a freaking roller coaster over the last few years, so I want to talk about what's happening now. There are currently 8 different cities in the Phoenix metro area in buyers markets. Let's review them. First, let's talk about the areas that are not in buyers markets. Paradise Valley is the only city currently still in a seller's market. The Cromford Market Report offers data about the real estate market here in the Metro Phoenix area, and the CMI, which is the Cromford Market Index, measures supply and demand. According to this metric, a CMI or Cromford Market Index over 110 indicates a seller's market. And as you can see here, the Paradise Valley is the only city in the Metro Phoenix area that meets this with the CMI at 148. These cities in yellow here, those are in a balanced market, which a CMI between 90 and 110 indicates balance. Now, Chandler is very close, as is Fountain Hills, but they are just below that threshold, keeping them in a balanced market. All of the areas currently in a balanced market: Chandler, Fountain Hills, Glendale, Avondale, Phoenix, Scottsdale, Cave Creek, and Mesa. A CMI below 90 indicates a buyer's market. This means the market is more favorable to buyers. Buyers have more negotiating power. The cities currently in a buyer's market: Gilbert, Tempe, Goodyear, Peoria, Surprise, Queen Creek, Maricopa, and Buckeye. Let me show you what that means for buyers in these areas. Starting at the top of that list was Gilbert. This is the one that was closest to a balanced market, just slightly in a buyer's market. They have a CMI of 89.1, and remember, 90 or below indicates a buyer's market. Currently in Gilbert, 46.5% of all of the transactions that are closing currently in Gilbert are having the seller pay a portion of the buyer's closing costs, with the median amount being $10,850. This means a seller is contributing $10,850 to the buyer to use towards their closing costs or interest rate buydowns. Now moving on to Tempe with the CMI of 87. Now in Tempe, only 37.8% of the transactions have the seller paying a portion of the closing costs, but they are paying more than they are in Gilbert at $11,800. As we go backwards on this list, the market is getting softer and softer in each of these cities. Goodyear is at a CMI of 76.7. And in Goodyear, over half of the transactions, 55.7% of all of the transactions happening right now in Goodyear, have the seller contributing a portion of the closing costs towards the buyer. And this is even more than the last few cities at $11,850. Peoria has a CMI of 73.5, and the amount of seller concessions is climbing. 62.5% of all transactions have the seller contributing to the buyer's closing costs. And in Peoria, this is over $11,000. These markets are getting even weaker. Surprise is at 61.9, with a shocking 70% of the transactions having the seller contribute to the buyer's closing costs. The median in Surprise is currently $10,000. This is just getting sad for sellers in Queen Creek. The CMI is 60.1, with 62.3% of transactions having the seller contributing to the buyer's closing costs at the median amount of $10,000. Maricopa has a CMI of just 51.7. with a whopping 72.3% of the transactions having the seller contribute to the buyer's closing costs. And it's just under $10,000. And for the market that is currently most favorable to buyers, Buckeye, with a CMI of 49. with 61.3% of the transactions in Buckeye contributing to the buyer's closing costs, right around $10,000. If you're looking to buy a home, these areas here in the red, that's probably where you're going to get the most bang for your buck in this current market. But if you have questions about these areas or any other, reach out to me. I would be happy to help. You can schedule a call in the link in my bio or just shoot me a DM.